Well, I'm trying to figure out when he's supposed to be back. I think it's today. So obviously the altercation between Anthony Rendon and the A's fan on opening day. Originally, it was a 5-game suspension. He appealed, so he was able to play that next day, and then was served with a 4-game suspension. I think that ended yesterday, but I am not 100% sure until I see a lineup for today, which I have yet to see. So we'll see what happens. But they did not do well on Saturday after that. But so right now they are tied with the shock of the season so far, Texas, for first in the West at 4-3. They went 2-1 versus the A's. They lost on opening day where Ohtani didn't get it, had like no decision because it was Aaron Loop who got the loss. But in that game, Ohtani went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 walks, and he had 10 strikeouts. Look, Ohtani is no matter what race. But if you look at Patrick Sandoval, he is done phenomenally as well. Granted, yesterday he got a no decision as well. But in the 13-1 win, he went 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Sunday's game, first home run hit for the Angels by Logan O'Hoppe. And I'm actually really happy to see like all of these players who are just coming out of the system, like farm system, to get this chance. Obviously, Yankees have theirs that came up, and let's just say I am actually excited to see what I don't want to mispronounce his name, is like VoIP or something.
Volpe or Vol. I don't know if it's Volpe or Volpe. But yeah,
I don't know.
The shortstop. Yeah,
but I'm
we'll
excited
find out. I'm sure soon enough with the way he's.
Yeah,
playing.
I'm excited to see what he does though.
Yeah,
in his career, Dave, he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah,
which is a Yankees problem, but he's playing for his hometown team, so I'm okay with it. The only time I will feel good about the Yankees, aside from Anthony Rizzo. So after that, they went 2-1 versus Seattle. They won Monday 7-3 with Ohtani had a home run. In Tuesday's 4-3 win, Ohtani finally got a win, but he also had a clock violation on both sides of the ball. So he had a pitch clock violation on the mound and at bat as well, which is probably, I hope, the only time we see this.
He continues to set records, like, look, it's not ideal, but like you said, it's going to take some time for a lot of people. I believe I heard that Shohei last year was the slowest worker. And you know what? I think that's okay. The guy literally plays, every other day, it seems like, pitching, throwing 100. But yeah, it was, he never ceases to amaze me, even sometimes when maybe the records aren't all positive. But this one, I think it's just a nice, fun thing to laugh at.
In my opinion, it shouldn't happen. But I know everybody's still trying to get used to it. I don't know how he feels about it. But he went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, and 8 strikeouts. No matter what he does offensively, he's still getting 8 to 10 strikeouts in a game.
Yep.
It's Ohtani. Like, you can't complain. And in my fantasy league, I knew I had a feeling I wasn't going to get both of them. I went for the pitcher because the pitcher is more reliable right now than the hitter.
Perfect.
Version of Ohtani. So I have the pitcher Ohtani, and I'm very happy. And then yesterday they lost to the Blue Jays. Trout did homer in this game, and they lost on a Bo Bichette 3-run home run. It's brutal. That was brutal. But they're going to finish the weekend versus Toronto, and then they're going to be home against Washington Monday through Wednesday. They have Thursday off, and then they are at Boston Friday to Sunday. And honestly, they should win the majority of these games.
I think they have to.
They have to. But I'm also thinking with the pitching lineup that they've got, I think they still need to figure out who maybe the number 5 pitcher is, because I don't remember who it was, but he's struggling. I know Detmers did okay, but I mean, he's going to struggle at times. I think this is really only his second full season as a major league pitcher. He needs time. And
he kind of, because if I remember correctly, he threw that no-hitter. And
he did. And then the next pitch, and then the next time he pitched, it was not good.
Yeah, and it might have even gone into his next start too. Which, I mean, look, it'll happen. It's baseball. Sometimes you just flip a coin and see how your day is going to go. But hopefully, he can maybe find a middle ground. Be a little more. I mean, no hitters are great. It's fantastic. But sometimes it does throw you off a bit. You're going 9 innings that you're not used to. You're probably throwing an extra 20, 30 pitches more than you'd like. So Hopefully, you can find some middle ground there. But
I want to know what all Miami fans think about how long that one game lasted within Alcantara. Complete game shutout that went under 2 hours. I want to know what their opinion was on a game that went under 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to see what the attendance is, but you might have to only ask about 25 people because the Marlins don't really draw a whole lot. But that is the other thing of these rules. You know, that's a 2 hour baseball game, and I think we're all pretty used to 3 hour baseball games, for better or worse. Once again, you can love these rules. It's fine. We can disagree. It's no big deal. But my question then would be is, okay, if this game went from 3 hours on average to now 2 hours, should I get a 33% discount on the ticket? Because your event just went from a 3 hour event to a 2 hour event, and you're still charging me the same price. I don't know. That's obviously, we know the answer to that. We know what the owners are going to say. If anything, they're going to jack up the prices. But yeah, it was interesting. And I do think that was one of the few that was under 2 hours, if not the only one. But yeah, that might be a bit of an anomaly. But Sandy Alcantara, he might be the best pitcher at all the National League. If we're being honest with ourselves as well. That's also what's lost. I felt like he threw a shutout, but all anybody wanted to talk about was a minute or an hour 58. It was like, this guy just had a great game. Please stop talking about the time.
And I know that this was something that you and I had talked about. They need to stop talking about how long these games last. And if there's a complete, yes, it went under 2 hours, but if it's a complete game shutout, the pitchers don't tend to go complete games anymore. Why aren't you talking about it?
Mm-hmm. Why is that the lead-in? Why are we talking immediately? It's almost like the pitching performance was secondary. It was like hoisting up Rob Manfred when Sandy Alcantara pitched an absolute gem. Unfortunately, I do just hope that it starts to calm down over the next 2 weeks, and maybe these commentators finally realize that, yes, we own clocks. We are surrounded by digital clocks on every single one of our devices. We understand what time the game started and what time the game ended. We can do the math on that. Well, not all of us, but most of us can do the math on that. So please trust us that you don't need to update us every other at bat. Thank you. I'll put my soapbox away, but I'm sure I'll bring it out later at some point.